Good morning, good evening, good afternoon or good night, depending where you are in the world. I'm Andy, I'm in West Wales, UK. It's about 8 in the morning here, and this is the Astro weather. All the times I'm using are for UK, but the rest of it should be good pretty much wherever you are. But if you're in the southern hemisphere, the moon percentages are slightly different. We always arrive at full moon and new moon at the same time, but in the southern hemisphere it goes round in a different way to the northern hemisphere. Okay, right, I think that's just about managed to clarify that. So, let me see, it's Wednesday the 19th of July. The moon at this moment is in a void of course period. No point doing anything much, trying to bring anything to completion or trying to really get anywhere. But not for much longer, about 20 minutes after I'm doing this, at about 8:31 this morning in UK time, these are all UK times, which at the moment is UTC +1. At 8:31 UK time, the moon enters into Gemini. People are more sociable under a Gemini moon. People are a bit more quick-witted. You get sort of better jokes for a start. And it's also good for study, intellectual pursuits, painstaking efforts to find things out and find things out genuinely. People like to find like-minded people and work and study with them under a Gemini moon. And heightened changeability and scattering interests. I see what it means. Yes, it just sort of scatters things all over the place, and it can be quite difficult to get a definite, tangible result. Also, under a Gemini moon in the body, the lungs, the upper airways, and the arms and the hands, and the clavicles, I can't remember what they are, but the clavicles as well, are all associated with Gemini. So you may become aware of things going on in your body around that. At this moment, Grandmother Moon is 23% full. She's waning crescent, and actually another 23 on the 23rd of July, which is just 4 days from now, we will have a new moon. And there's never much point. It's a bit like a void of course period actually when a new moon comes, because she's visible in the sky, but there's not a lot of point. No, she isn't. She's invisible in the sky at new moon, and there's not a lot of point trying to push yourself forward, trying to make things happen. And of course it's never long, it's only a day or two till she's full in the sky. So when that new moon comes, it's a real good time for making a few last minute arrangements to any plans you've been making before you launch what you're going to do. And the alignment of the moon right this minute, she is trine Saturn, and that means it's good time for careful negotiations, being patient, bringing things to a conclusion. Some people's insecurities get the better of them, and that can be difficult in meetings and make it difficult to get your point across and to change anything. There's also the risk of shortages, delays and obstacles and things, but that isn't coming from Mercury, that's coming from Venus being opposite Saturn at the moment. Okay, it feels a lot like Mercury retrograde, but Mercury retrograde does not start until next week, and it's quite important to hang on to that bit of knowledge, because there are other things coming in at the moment. The Sun is moving up to conjunct Mars, and that's really going to be felt from about the 22nd to the 28th of July. But we're starting to feel the beginnings of it now. When the Sun conjuncts Mars, someone will try to push all your buttons. You might even find yourself trying to push other people's buttons. It's another shake the tree thing. It's a lot more positive than it sounds, because basically anything that falls out of the tree is something that no longer serves you. And it's all about learning, growing and moving forward. But during that Sun conjunct Mars experience, it's kind of explosive in your personal life. There's not a great deal you can do about that. You just got to sort of sit back and take it and smile as much as you can. Act with caution, be measured, basically keep it real. I think that's the best thing I can say about it. Keep it real. Because there's more fun and games in August. We have, of course, got the Mercury retrograde station, which I think is on about the first weekend of August. It's very early in August when that happens. And also in August, as well as the Sun conjunct Mars thing, we've got Jupiter coming up to square Pluto, And there are eclipses as well. There's a partial eclipse of the moon in Aquarius in August, and there's also a total eclipse of the sun in Leo. So that is really going to be fun. None of the usual astrology, it's not going to be the day-to-day usual astrology. It's going to be the usual Big Bang astrology, and it's all happening next week. So keep an eye out for that. Let us have a look at spaceweather.com, because I do like to see how all this relates to the laws of physics. My gosh, it's quiet up there today. The face of the sun is completely blank. AR2666 was a sunspot that never really did anything, but sunspot AR2665 was the one that was so big and caused all the trouble. That has now passed right onto the other side of the sun. There is a coronal hole in the northern hemisphere of the sun at this moment. Scientists from NASA are watching it. There's a good, strong possibility of what we might call auroras or noctilucent clouds, where you look up at the clouds, maybe the sky is cloudy, but it's sort of backlit, like a really good, like a retina display or something, that the sky is made into a retina display. It's the sort of thing we associate with the Northern Lights. I don't think we're going to see this over the United Kingdom at all, but it's out there and it's happening. And watch the sky, you never know. Now that coronal hole I mentioned, right, there is a solar wind flowing from it, and that solar wind could reach us on July the 21st, but the sun is really quiet at the moment, so nothing to worry about there. Okay, I think that's just about covered it. Thanks ever so much for watching. Leave me a comment if you're interested. It's always good to get a conversation going about these things, find out what other people think. If you'd like to like it, that would be great, and please subscribe if you can as well. Help me get my views up, reach more people, get the world out. Brilliant. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.